So underneath the car here, I thought this was going to be easier with the, I don't even know if I can get in there and then get some light. There's the crank. Right there, there's the water pump. So it's up there. There we are. There's the water pump. There's some bolts. You're seeing nothing. So anyhow, that's where the water pump's located. There's, I don't know how many bolts, but a few bolts. I think it'll be easier to get from down on the bottom, but then probably gonna do it up on the top, kind of a combination of both. It's nice again to have the lift behind me. So I'll knock it out and give you a report here how hard it was to get out in just a moment. So update time, the only way to get to those bolts from the top is you gotta remove the air box. So it's 1, 2, 3, we'll go look at that one first. 3, and the 4th one is right there. So once those 4 are gone, this whole thing will pop out. Gotta get the coolant hose out of the way, and should just pop out of here. You know, no real nice. Oh, gotta unclick the coolant hose. I knew there was something I was missing. There we go. Unclick the coolant hose. That will come this way. Sit that there. Sit this over here. And then this is the guy you really gotta get out of the way. Which we got more coolant lines. There we go. Boom. And then there's the water pump, which I know my light's messed up from my head, so there we go. All right, so those 2 bolts on the top were the ones I couldn't get from the bottom. So this will be nice with half top, half bottom. And then that one clip there we got to get to as well. So to be continued. All right, so there is the water pump. And thankfully I put a catch can underneath, so no mess got on the floor. The only thing you should know is the 2 bolts on the left, or closer to the passenger versus the front, are these 2 long guys. So those 2 long guys are on the 2 on the left, the 2 on the right are short, and the one on the bottom is short as well. The plug right there was easy to unplug for me, and even though I live in Michigan, thankfully it's all really not rusty and everything broke free. So pretty pumped about that. We'll pull this pump out here and take a look at it in just a second. So it's a couple days later. I got sick and did not make any videos while I finished this up. I felt good, and it was literally like an hour to wrap it up. So where I got out of bed, felt good, came down, wrapped it up, and was like, oh man, forgot to make videos. So it's all done. There it is behind me. Let me show you the new water pump, and then I'll talk about next steps on what to do once you put the water pump on. Yellow dipstick, and then if you look below it, I tried to focus in on it. Let's see if it'll work. Nah, not really. Let's go lower. There she is. There, ooh, almost. There we go, shiny new water pump. So that's it, and then after you put it on, you put the air intake back in, and then after that, you start it up, make sure it doesn't leak. Thankfully it didn't leak. The bolts again are 12 millimeter, 19 and 15 foot-pounds, 19 on the big ones, 15 on the little one, and then you get it off the lift or wherever you're at. You fill the coolant reservoir up there. You turn on the heat on high, and then once the heat's on high, it will suck down the coolant. That's the coolant for the battery reservoir over there on the other side. There you are. And then you just fill it up. And it sucks it down, you fill it up. I went through a gallon of coolant. That topped it off. And then we are good to go. So it has not gone down anymore. You leave the cap off. That's the DIY way to bleed the system. If you've got fancy tools and a vacuum bleeder, that's the best way to do it. It'll suck the air out that way. But for all the rest of us, just turn the heat on, let it idle. The bad part is the hybrid, right? It idles to the battery's full and then it shuts off. So it might take you a bit. I put coolant in, would walk away, just let it run, come back,
5-10 minutes later, fill it back up, let it run, come back. And I think I did that 3 or 4 times until the full gallon was in there. And that's about what it took. So the coolant looked good coming out of it. You could flush the full amount. If the coolant doesn't look good, maybe that's a good idea for you. Drain the radiator and do the full amount, but the coolant came out looking good. Adding a fresh gallon is going to help. And I don't know, maybe I'll do a coolant flush later in the future, but since it did look so good, I really wasn't too worried about it. But that is a wrap up on changing the water pump. Again, super easy. Like if you're hopefully if all your bolts break, which if you live in a good climate, they should. Even in a bad climate, not too much salt should get up in there. It's really protected. But you pop the under tray off, 5 bolts on the water pump, disconnect the connector, take it out, slap a new one in, put the new 5 bolts in, torque them, add fluid, and it is that easy. So I highly recommend it. Again, electric water pump, you never know when it's going to go, and if you're at 100,000 miles or more, you should definitely put that on the to-do list to do. And then while you're in there, again, I'll shoot a picture here of cleaning the intake manifold. But that is another big one. So if you don't want to blow head gaskets, that's the best thing to do, is to clean that. And it should give you, from everything I've read, a good long life of those that just maintain it. That's the negative of all the EGR and the emissions, that if you don't maintain it, you blow a gasket and then you're either a new head gasket or a new engine because of all the emission regulations. So just make sure you clean it, change your fluid, water pump, and your Prius with a tuxedo, if you have a CT200H like me, or your Gen 3 Prius, will give you good long life. All right, thanks, appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up if this was helpful. If you want to subscribe for more Fixing Drew's Junk, I'd be happy to help you with just showing you how I do it along the way, and hopefully that gives you some ideas and tips for your own. Take care and see you next time.